What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gem Mint, and I'm back with another statue unboxing and review. And this is a full circle moment in collecting for me. We got the Gray Hulk vs. Wolverine Maquette. This is a repaint of the first statue that I ever pre-ordered from Sideshow, the Green Hulk versus the yellow and blue Wolverine. At the time, I was collecting Marvel Selects, and I would pose them next to slabs. And I really liked the bigger figures like Juggernaut and Hulk because they had a lot of presence and they would look good next to the slabs. Then I decided to jump into the 1/4 scale TMNT NECA line, starting with Donatello and then I think Raph. And that's what really made me start paying attention to statues. I'll never forget my boy Eric, aka E-Rich, over on Instagram. He's an Incredible Hulk 181 hoarder, and I saw him take a picture with a 181 and the Hulk vs. Wolverine Maquette, and that's when I decided, you know what, I'm diving in, I'm jumping into statues, and that was my first pre-order. Now, those of you guys who have watched me for a while know that I was so excited waiting for that piece to ship. I went to my local comic shop, which was Past, Present, Future in West Palm Beach at the time, and I bought the Apocalypse Premium format and the J. Scott Campbell Spider-Man Comic-Ette, thinking it was the 1/4 scale Spidey, but I was wrong. I was still new to the game. So it was the first piece I pre-ordered, not the first one that I own, but still same thing. So I'm very excited to unbox this. I'm also a sucker for color variants. As you guys know, if I get one Hulk, I tend to get every damn color. This one, they made 1,000 of them, and this is number 265 out of 1,000. I don't think they did an exclusive on this one. The old one had an exclusive, which was dope. They had the modern Wolverine mask, and then they had the original throwback one with like the cat whiskers. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this thing out of the brown shipper and take a look at the art box. All right, you know what's funny? I remember this box being so much bigger when I first got that first statue, but I've had a lot of big boxes on the table since then. So we get a look at the statue, the Gray Hulk, the brown and tan Wolverine suit, which is my favorite Wolverine costume. On this side, it's nothing, just says Gray Hulk in kind of gray, and then it looks like the other side says Wolverine in orange, and on the back you have Gray Hulk versus Wolverine, and it's the same at the top there. All right, let's go ahead and get this on the ground, open it up, take a look at each piece, then we'll do the assembly, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at it in full and give you my final thoughts. All right, same old box, but this time with the upgraded straps. So let's remove those, lift off that top lid, which is the bigger layer. And here we can see the Hulk body, the head sculpts. But let's start with Wolverine's brown gloves. So we have the adamantium claws, this time redone with the brown and tan. More of a metallic look on those blades, I would say, and kind of not sharp, pretty dull actually. But you can see the seams, the stitching, the folds, the wrinkles, and the texturing in those gloves. They look good, and the balled up fist, of course. Gotta love those claws. Now, this was where the last piece kind of fell short. The teeth on Wolverine being a smaller head sculpt in about 1/5 scale, but they definitely corrected that here. The teeth look great, the enamel shine, same great textures and paint on the mask, but this time with more of that brown and tan look. The teeth look great, just like with the Hulk head sculpt. It actually looks like his mouth is a little bit bloody. It has like a strong red highlight to it, but the shiny brown enamel teeth with the gums and the tongue. He's got the Gray Hulk traditional eyebrows with the small head and hair. The Hulk portrait looks great. Mouth looks a little bloody, which I'm not mad at. The vein on the temple and the key, of course. And then we have Gray Hulk's body. I love what they did with the paint schemes, with the bluish kind of veins and the gray skin with the different shading. That looks amazing. Of course, the muscle definition is insane. The back is huge. You got the ripped blue denim. But yeah, they did a great job with the veins. They really put a lot of detail into the highlights there. The other one had like dirtier feet, but this time they made it look more like a snow residue left on the bottom of the feet. If we can see here, kind of like spackling of snow, and on the bottom of the right foot. All right, that bottom layer, which does have tape actually, we'll remove the tissue paper. We can see the base, and like I said, number 265 out of 1,000, just one version. Got that beautiful silhouette there. And they did some upgrades on the base as well. It doesn't really show on camera, but there's a lot more detail in the snow. But the wood always looked great, just like on this little side piece. It looks like I'm holding a piece of wood in my hands. The paint applications, The little shadowing and the spackle of the snow, kind of like a blue highlight and a lot more granular. The body of Wolverine here, that brown and tan, it looks great just like the original. Great texturing throughout the boots and the tread on the bottom. Wolverine much leaner than Hulk, but still has big biceps with the veins, with the hair sculpted in. Love that red belt with the buckle. Let's go ahead and get it assembled. So base is on the table. I don't know if you put Hulk in first or the little side piece. It worked for me doing it this way. So putting on that secondary piece of wood, then we're gonna get Hulk in between that. He has a keyhole there, and then his foot rests on the back. All right, there we go. Might as well throw on the head sculpt for Gray Hulk now. It's funny because I just did the premium format. Now we got the maquette here. So Hulk's gonna be looking up at Wolverine, so let's key him on Hulk's right shoulder. All right, and then we can put Wolverine's hands in. So left hand, right hand, and then lastly, the head sculpt. And there we have it, the Gray Hulk versus the brown and tan Wolverine. Let's go ahead and zoom out and see what this guy looks like in full. All right, everybody, here we go. Just as I remembered it, Gray Hulk, Wolverine, bringing back a lot of nostalgia for me, especially opening the box, remembering how it had like the thin part of the base on the bottom. But anyway, here we go, all assembled. I like how they took the opportunity to improve some things with this one. Like I mentioned on the base, the snow, I remember back in the day, that was a real struggle with statue companies to get the snow right. But the kind of concrete stone, the rock that they're standing on looks good. The tree that Hulk is stomping on in half looks great, as it always did. And then moving on to Hulk, like I said, I love the gray skin tone, the blue veins. The muscle is there. The ripped fabric on the denim jeans is there. And just this huge muscular back. The Hulk portrait, they improved it so much, as well as with Wolverine. Like I said, with those teeth, they really took that 2017 sculpt and brought it into 2025. Speaking of which, it is a little bit more expensive than the original one. That one was $650. This one retails $750. And I didn't even realize this was designed and sculpted by Martin Canali, but he had some help on this one as well. You had Alfred Pederis on sculpt, Guillermo Barberio, and Ariel Olivetti. Now, let's take some quick measurements. It looks like Wolverine's head and his hand is kind of like the same height, but let's just take a look. So it stands about 22.5 inches tall. The width at the widest point looks to be about 18 inches in width. And then depth, you're looking at about 15 inches or so. Now, although they did improve a lot of those areas, like I mentioned, there's a couple of things that they didn't improve on, and it could be unique to my piece. I feel like there's a pretty good rock in the base, which could be something as simple as like one of the pads is too small. And then the other thing, you might have seen it already, the Wolverine, he rocks a little bit too in the keyhole. I think it would bother some people, although when you assemble this and put it in its final resting place, that's going to be a non-issue. It's not going to move around as it's just sitting static, but I thought I would mention that as part of the review. But yeah, full circle piece, the first statue that I ever pre-ordered. Years later, what is it, like 8 years later, coming out with a repaint. The only thing I would have liked to have seen, because they're doing quarter scale dios now, is a re-release in quarter scale. I think that would be insane. They got the fastball special with Wolverine and Colossus. If they did the original in a quarter scale, I don't know if I would be able to pass that up or not. Let me know what you guys think about the piece in the comments down below. What is your full circle collecting moment? If you have one, shout it down in the comments below, and I'm going to leave you with these guys spinning 360 on the turntable. As always, thanks for watching, and stay minty fresh. Peace.